On this awesome episode of UTR, we take another look at the meatiest part of your palm. That's right, we're in Southeast Michigan for some good wood, a romp in the trees, cuisine you'll crave, and some fine folks who make books for the blind. Heck, we'll even show you how to play cricket, I think. Get ready to explore the cool people, places, and things that make Southeast Michigan a great place to be.
Along the way is where we find the unexpected. Along the way is where we take in the scenery, and often where we have the most fun. Sure, along the way can be the place we stop to fill up or grab a bite to eat. But in Michigan, along the way becomes the place we've been longing for. Because enjoying the journey is always pure Michigan. Your trip begins at Michigan.org.
The Michigan Economic Development Corporation, dedicated to shared economic success. MEDC promotes the state's assets and opportunities that support business investment, job growth, and community vitality. There's something special about the pride, the skill, and the passion it takes to build something great. The Construction Association of Michigan, CAM, understands that passion and has been providing contractors with the resources they need since 1885. A visit to the Stahl's Automotive Museum will take you back to a time when cars were more than just a way to get around. In addition to beautiful cars, enjoy the collection of gas pumps, road signs, oil cans, and other car-related accessories. Info at stahlsauto.com.
I've been around the world, but there's one place I keep coming back to. And the more I explore, the more I realize it's the place to be. I'm Tom Dalton, and this is Under the Radar, Michigan.
The plentiful people of Southeast Michigan have a lot to say and do, and for that simple reason, we're going to spend some time talking to them and hanging out with them. It's kind of what we do. Southeast Michigan is by far our most densely populated place. So you find tons of people, young and old, doing extraordinary, entertaining, meaningful, and very tasty things. It's where so many people come to thrive and feel alive in the beehive we call humanity. And it's where we're going to spend the next 30 minutes meandering. So put your tray tables and your seats in the upright and locked position, because we're on final approach to an awesome part of our great state. Now, I'll be honest with you. We're doing this first segment because Jim, who's behind the camera right now, you can't see him, is a master woodworker. At least that's what he tells me. If you're a handy person like Jim, an artist, a musician, or just someone who's looking for that perfect piece of wood, Armstrong Millworks in Highland is a place you really need to know about. It's a fourth-generation, family-owned business that's been shaving, shaping, sanding, and supplying good wood for folks far and wide for as long as people around these parts can remember. Dennis is a proud Armstrong who grew up in the shadow of this great millworks. And now he's passing that tradition on to his kids. I'm going to level with you. I'm not much of a woodworker, other than the fact that I made a cutting board in 9th grade and my legs looked like 2x4s. But other than that, I wasn't sure what we were going to talk about till I came here. I don't know where to start. These machines you use, how old are they?
Oh, they can vary from World War II and prior to very current. Some of them look old, but they are old style equipment that are still being made today.
Oh, like me.
Yeah.
So your specialty here is, well, you do a lot of things, all things wood. But I saw the drawers of molding those metal, what are they called?
They're knives.
All right.
They're profile knives.
You've got millions of them.
Well, we have about 1,800 different profiles, and we have a new one made every week.
This place goes back, way back. How did it all start?
My father was looking for a way out of farming. Our family came to this farm in 1842, shortly after Michigan became a state. And he didn't really like the farming, and he was quite a good woodworker. He excelled at woodworking in school, and he got into making furniture. It evolved into church furniture, and then into selling hardwoods.
And I also read that he sold a model, 1913 Model T to get the money, for like $30 or something to start the business.
He did. He bought it for probably $10. I don't know exactly, but it was a small amount of money. It was level full of chicken manure, and he cleaned it up. And after the fun wore off, he sold them and bought a table saw and a jointer, and that's how he got started.
And the whole family lives on the property?
On the compound. Yeah, my son lives on the property, my daughter is in front of the mill, and my mother lives next to the mill, and I live on the other side of the mill.
So it's a real family.
It is.
It's been. That's what I love about places like this that are passed down through the generations. They seem to mean something, and they're woven into the fabric of the community, so you become part of the landscape almost.
Yep, and we enjoy being here out in the country. We enjoy providing a green belt for Highland Township. For people driving through on M59, they can see the country.
How many places like yours do you think even exist in the U.S.?
I would question whether there's any that do the same things that we do. There are places you can go and have moldings made.
Right.
There's places that will do custom milling, and there's places that will sell lumber. But to do all of them in one operation or one facility, I don't think there's many around that do that.
I bet you wish you had $1 for every splinter you ever got, don't you?
That would be wonderful.
Then you could retire to that tree house I just saw out back.
Absolutely. I can join my grandkids.
Armstrong Millworks really is a treasure chest of timber for anyone who works with wood. And a great place to go to discover your inner woodworker. So you can go now, or you can wait for the next generation to take over. Either way, they'll be here waiting for you.
Well, now that we've run some wood through the mill, it's time to run through the treetops and celebrate this awesome natural resource. Wait, did I say treetops?
You said it, Mr. Dalden. We're at Tree Runner Adventure Park in West Bloomfield. And if outdoor adventure is what lifts your spirits, you'll be high in no time here, because this unique experience is all about traversing the treetops and zip-lining through the forest. If you've always wanted to be a bird or a squirrel, here's your chance. And speaking of chance, it was time for us to take ours. So we harnessed up for some top-notch training time to make sure that we were ready for a fun and safe time in the trees. And by Jove, I think I got it. Sort of.
This will be easy.
Well, before I go tiptoeing through the treetops, I should probably have a conversation with the park's #1 tree hugger, Thomas Knuth.
Okay, first question, Thomas. Did you get the Lorax permission to do this?
No, but we did consult a few worms and a bear.
Okay. Oh, okay, fine with me. We did the same thing for our show. Whose idea was this? This is extraordinary.
Well, this concept of aerial challenge climbing originated in Europe, and there's thousands of these parks in Europe, so much that the market is saturated. In the U.S., there's really only a couple hundred, and this one here in Southeast Michigan is the biggest in Michigan itself. We're rated as Michigan's #1 ziplining venue.
Now, this isn't just a walking through the trees. It's not like, this is actual, it's a course. It's actually it's not that easy to do.
Well, here at Tree Runner, we have 10 aerial trails, independent trails. Each trail is essentially an obstacle course on steroids. All the obstacles are suspended from the trees. You, as the climber, need to get from tree to tree, but to do it, you have to climb through that obstacle. Every few obstacles, you get the treat of a nice zip line.
Well, I mean, if you want to see what it's like to be a squirrel or a bird, this is awesome. To be this high in the trees and to be able to move from tree to tree, it's like darn near Tarzan-esque.
Right, Tarzan in the trees. It's an aerial challenge, it's a thrill, it's an adrenaline rush. You see people come out here because they love climbing. You see families come out here because it's not only family bonding, but it helps them work on problem-solving skills and communication.
Well, at this point, I think I knew just about everything I needed to know. So it was time for Tom to try Tree Runner.
Oh, these are tricky. You didn't tell me. But look at me. Well, oh, okay, I got it.
You got it.
Look at me.
You got it.
I'm adventure parking. Wait a minute, Mommy. What do I do with this one? Do I have to bend down? I'm just trying to get to the chopper. I feel like a Marine, a ninja warrior, and a Greek god all at once.
So if a simple walk in the woods isn't doing it for you anymore, come try tiptoeing through the treetops at Tree Runner Adventure Park in West Bloomfield. It just might be the coolest thing you do all summer. And the funnest, too.
How do I slow down? Oh, like that. Are you one of those people that just eats to live? Or are you a food aficionado who lives to eat at places that expand your culinary consciousness? Well, if you are, hold on to your mantra, because you're about to eat at Mabel Gray.
Mabel Gray is a restaurant in Hazel Park with a conscience for great cuisine. It's what food enthusiasts would call a restaurant that exists in the moment, serving fresh, local, ever-changing, and challenging selections that seem more like an artistic creation than a daily special. Yes, dare I say, if you're a foodie, we may have found your new favorite place. James Regato cooked his way from humble beginnings to a celebrated chef who's always looking forward. And personally, I'm looking forward to eating some of his food.
What's your earliest memory of being fascinated with food?
You know, I grew up in a trailer park with a single mom, so I kind of, was always around like junk food and kind of like, quick TV dinners and things.
That was me.
But then my grandparents were really fantastic Italian cooks. So I grew up around, hand-rolled pastas and crunchy romaine, being torn in the kitchen for salads and, fresh marinara sauces and, proofed focaccia for pizza. Like, I would just see the transformation of raw ingredients into fantastic Italian food.
Well, how did you find your way to culinary school?
I got a job on my 14th birthday in a diner because like I said, I grew up in a single mom. I wanted more resources. I wanted to be able to take a girlfriend out on a date. I wanted to be able to go to the movies. I wanted to be able to buy hot lunch at school and not have to ask for money. So I wanted independence. And obviously financial independence is the highway to independence. So I got a job scrubbing pots and pans and kind of stuck with it. Got a job flipping pizzas next and, grilling steaks after that. And by the time I was 17, I was around some serious culinarians and they showed me Schoolcraft and
boom.
Boom.
Yeah. You've got quite a reputation and you could be anywhere in the States cooking. Are you tired of people saying to you, why Hazel Park?
I get asked it a lot, and I think why anywhere really is the question. I don't understand when people think that this is like some kind of wild decision. Yeah. This is a cool little town in the center of 696 and 75. A little 1,600 square foot building that we bought. Used to be a little diner, so we kind of have this like old vibe where you see everything that's going on. Just like you go to Coney and you watch someone making your omelet. We have a little bit nicer food than the average Coney, but I think that the vibe. This is very, very Michigan. It's very kind of like the Detroit industrial sprawl. This old shotgun, tool and die, cinder block kind of vibe. And that's kind of who I am.
I like how you describe the restaurant as being a living, breathing thing.
Yeah.
And this is kind of proof of that. Your menu is on paper. It changes every day.
Every day, yeah. My girlfriend, who's my sous chef, Sam, she handwrites the menu. I kind of come up with the dishes, and then she handwrites them, and then that's what we cook that day. And then we do it, obviously, very much daily. So, and then the tasting menu is all surprise. So we just choose back there, and it comes out as we want. You don't get to make many. You choose tasting menu. It's my world. You don't make any decisions.
You guys don't even have a walk-in cooler?
Yeah, no walk-in cooler. Daily deliveries, daily prep. We were here yesterday prepping all day. It's a lot of work that goes into it. The majority of our time is spent before we even open, just getting ready and the daily prep and rolling dumplings and pastas and sauces and then if we're really busy, sometimes we get wiped out completely and start over the whole next day.
You know a good place to eat around here?
I don't. I'm sorry. Louis Pizza on the Quinder.
Just 5 minutes with Chef Regato, and you can tell that he puts everything he is and all that he has into every plate he creates. If the food you eat helps define who you are, find your way to Mabel Gray in Hazel Park. It's a UTR food find you'll find to be, fantastic.
It's easy to understand why reading is so important to young minds. It helps them grow, learn, and imagine. But as seeing isn't easy, it's easy to see how that could be heartbreaking for a young kid.
Well, fear not, my fellow empathists, because Seedlings Braille Books for Children in Livonia has opened a whole wonderful world of reading for kids everywhere. And they do it from the bottom of their helping hearts. It all started with Deborah Bondi and her insatiable need to help kids read.
I saw your map. I am amazed. You guys, here you are in Livonia, and you're shipping Braille books all over the globe.
We are. It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I'd never thought that when I started it.
From your humble beginnings, how did this all start?
I was a person who really feels like it's our job on earth to help other people, but it didn't go with who I was because I was extremely shy. And usually when you're helping people, you have to talk to them, right?
Right, right. Even what I do is tough. I'm kind of shy, but you sort of force yourself to follow your mission.
Well, I heard about Braille and I thought, oh, that's perfect. I can make books in my home by myself and send them off and help people, right? So I took the Braille class, and when I learned Braille, there were some other people there, including a mom of a blind child, and she mentioned that her daughter only had 2 books, and I thought, that's crazy. Why, you know? Sighted kids have hundreds of books usually in their home and in the library and whatnot. She only had 2. And I looked into it, I found out that Braille books were very hard to get and very, very expensive, like $100 for a Hardy Boys book.
For one book?
For one book. And that just didn't seem right to me.
Oh my gosh.
So I kind of thought maybe I should try to do something about that. But I just thought, you know, I want to do this. I want to make it a nonprofit organization so we can keep the prices as low as possible and even give books away, which is totally backwards. My dad started a company when I was little, and he actually made my first printer for this. But he said, Deb, you've got it all backwards. You're supposed to make a book for $10 and sell it for $20, not make it for $20 and sell it for $10, which is what we do. So,
well, hence the name nonprofit.
yes, exactly.
And now you've got how many people here working?
Well, we have about 10 staff and dozens of volunteers that help us keep our prices low, of course, and wonderful, wonderful supporters.
But what does this do for you personally?
Oh gosh, we all love doing this because the feedback is just tremendous. I mean, we've got so many people emailing us and calling us and telling us that they're so glad that they found us, that there just isn't much available out there, and that especially at the prices that we have.
Well, thanks for what you're doing.
My pleasure.
It's a lot of work, I can tell. It's a lot of work.
A labor of love.
Yeah.
Just how special is the world of reading for a kid? Well, I guess now would be the appropriate time to ask one. And Sarah Murphy is absolutely amazing.
So you can read this book here in front of me.
Uh-huh. Yup.
Because I'm not the world's best reader, but I was hoping you could read something to me.
Let's see, Charlotte's Web. Hey, that used to be my favorite.
Oh.
Where is Papa going with the axe? Said Fern to her mother as they were setting the table for breakfast. Out to the hog house, replied Mrs. Arable. Some pigs were born last night.
You read faster than I do.
Yeah. Some people say I can read 2 sentences at once, but it's pretty much 1.5.
Is learning to read Braille hard?
Oh my goodness, no.
Oh, good, then maybe I can do it.
Heck, these kids are so smart. Even little Cara Gilmore types her own Braille.
So, if you were to write someone's name...
Oh, write my name, Tom.
You would use that 6TOM.
It's done. Did you write that already?
Yes.
I should have had you write my books because they would have been done a lot faster if you did them. That's wonderful.
And don't forget Caitlin Kalel. She actually grew up on Seeling's books and is now on their board of directors.
What's amazing to me with these books, when I look at what you're reading, it's just a blank white page. But there's a whole world in there that you see that I don't see.
And that's one of the cool parts about being blind, is that we've got a great imagination and we've developed our senses greatly. So that's why especially exposure to Braille, even with our baby books, is very important, because we need to start developing those sensational touch skills at a very young age. So this is extremely important because not only does reading allow children to learn, it gives them a voice and it allows them to be able to master their language. And if they can't read, they can't write, and they won't be able to be successful down the road. So it's very important to get Braille materials into the hands of children across the country and around the world so that they aren't left behind, so they can continue to flourish and have the opportunity to be successful.
Everyone we encountered at Seedlings had a heart of gold and a wonderful story to be told about how they're changing and enlightening young lives. They've even given away half of the 500,000 books that they've made since 1984. So if helping kids discover the world around them is something that pulls your heartstring, get a hold of the fine folks at Seedlings Braille Books and find out how you can help. Because quite honestly, once you see what these great people are doing, you won't be able to help yourself.
Have you ever stumbled upon a cricket game and thought to yourself, that's nice, What the heck's going on? Well, thanks to the Farmington Cricket Club, we're all about to find out. I hope.
That's right, it's the historic and revered game of cricket. A bat and ball game that dates back to the 16th century of England. So why are people still playing today? Beats me, because I can't figure out how the darn game works. Luckily for me, Kamal Ambadi displayed both patience and grace while attempting to transfer his cricket knowledge to my cranium.
Now, watching the game, it looks a little like baseball. So I figured out it's just like baseball, only completely different, right?
Right, you can call it's a different version of the game. So
are they related?
It's not related, it's a cousins. It's a cousins, you can call brothers, cousins. So cricket started in like 500 years ago. So 16th, 17th centuries.
Yeah.
So game goes to, so it's born in England, Great Britain. So when English conquer all over the world, they get the game too all over the world.
Explain the spirit of cricket. What is that?
Yeah, so that spirit of the cricket. So winning game, like, it's any other game. So there is a winner and loser. But spirit of cricket is you win the hearts of the people. Because you may lose the game, but being the sportsmanship, being like friendly and respectful to your opposition, umpire, and everyone. So that's where the spirit requires.
And the Farmington Cricket Club, you guys play a different kind of cricket?
Yeah, so Farmington Cricket Club started 10 years back. So we have around 600 members now.
Wow.
So we have men, we have women, we have youth. So we are organizing tournament across the year, like starting from spring, summer, fall, and winter. So all seasons we have some tournaments. So the main idea is to engage everyone with the cricket.
Why do you think more guys like me should get into the game?
Yeah, so, cricket teaches a lot of human values. Let's say patience or respect, like as I discussed with the spirit of the game. So many factors involved with the cricket. So it's played very close to the actual human life,
I think it's time I got out there and actually tried it out. What do you think?
Oh, sure, that will be wonderful. We'd love to have you on the field.
Well, first I got to figure out what I'm doing.
Okay, sure, yeah.
Well, even though I didn't quite understand what was going on yet, Kamal and his mates were nice enough to let me take a few quick swings of the flat bat. Can you say mediocre? Once the game got underway, I set out to truly understand it, so I tossed out a few questions to some of the competing cricketers.
Okay, so explain the spigots again for me.
Wickets.
Right.
They're wickets. Yeah. There's 3 wickets on each side.
That's what I said, wickets.
When you're batting, you protect the wickets,
Protect.
so when they pitch the ball, you want to hit the wickets to knock
Okay.
the pegs off the wickets.
If you don't run, you stay in your base.
I
You are
stay?
safe. You start running,
What?
you need to make sure you cross the other base.
Okay.
Otherwise, you get out.
What? Oh.
So explain to me why the pitcher runs at you when he's throwing the ball.
So there are different kind of pitchings in cricket. Slow pitching,
Okay.
fast pitching.
Fast pitching.
Because you are going to bowl over.
Oh, look, a
over
bird.
your head.
If you hit it before the guy reaches the crease,
What's
that's called
happening?
the boundary line. wherever
Boundary
the-
line.
That is called one run.
How does cricket work?
So if you hit 6, you get a lot of points.
Really?
Yeah.
It's that simple?
Yeah.
Well, I should have talked to you first.
Well, if you're looking for the Idiot's Guide to Cricket, I'm pretty much it. But suffice it to say, I learned a lot, made some awesome new friends, got some much needed exercise, and had an absolute blast. If you want to sharpen your mind, forget crossword puzzles. Join a cricket league near you and learn this crazy game. It's great cardio, and your cerebral cortex will thank you for it. It'll also thank you for spending some time in Southeast Michigan, because with this much stuff to do, you won't know what to do with yourself. I guarantee.
Hey there. Want to know more about all the great places we go on the program? Just go to our website. You can watch episodes, tell us where to go, jump to our Facebook page, and even buy a hat like mine. So just go to utrmichigan.com. That's utrmichigan.com. Go now. Or now.
Along the way is where we find the unexpected. Along the way is where we take in the scenery, and often where we have the most fun. Sure, along the way can be the place we stop to fill up or grab a bite to eat. But in Michigan, along the way becomes the place we've been longing for. Because enjoying the journey is always pure Michigan. Your trip begins at Michigan.org.
The Michigan Economic Development Corporation, dedicated to shared economic success. MEDC promotes the state's assets and opportunities that support business investment, job growth, and community vitality. There's something special about the pride, the skill, and the passion it takes to build something great. The Construction Association of Michigan, CAM, understands that passion and has been providing contractors with the resources they need since 1885.